Hey, Anko Herman back for a quick video. And I want to answer a question that went along the lines, I don't know, I'm totally overwhelmed, I'm exhausted, I'm stressed out, I've got so much to do. And I know once that project finishes, I'm going to go straight into panic mode, worrying about where the next client comes from. So I love calling this phenomenon the manic to panic cycle. And I'm claiming that anybody who's been in business for any length of time knows it in one shape or another. Because there are times when you're unsure where, the first or your next client is coming from. And then that next client project comes, and then you're so busy and you've got deadlines and everything's piling up and you don't know how to manage it all. And as soon as that's finished, you start at the beginning. So especially if you're in the early stages of your business, you'll spend more time in the panic mode. And then you have a time when it really goes, it's a roller coaster ride where you go from one to the other. And when your business is more established, you spend more time, or almost all your time, in manic state. And neither of them is particularly relaxing or fun. Now, there is actually a whole module dedicated to that topic in the Flow mentoring program that I'm thinking of running again. So if you're interested in that, drop me a note. And so if there's people interested, I would be more than happy to run it again. But just to kind of give a little bit of an overview of my take on that whole thing. There's basically two parts of it. There's things that you can do to basically even out the roller coaster, the manic to panic roller coaster. There's definitely things you can do to even it out from both ends. Say, there's things you can do to get a more consistent stream of clients. Or if your work is seasonal, find something to do in the slow periods, right? So there's marketing, and there's a number of things you can do to make sure you get more clients, right? On the other hand, to compensate the manic phase, there's a number of things you can do to even that out, to solve that issue. There's you can always get better at what you do, get faster at what you do. So that's a constant process anyway, but you can decide to consciously focus on it. Basically getting better, faster, more efficient. There's tools that might, make sense to get. For anybody doing flamenco or roughly kind of stuff, there's always the magic electric circular knife that cuts off literally hours of every garment you make, like things like that, where you think, well, which tool haven't you bought that would make your life so much easier? So there's the part of doing what you're doing better and faster. The other part is, do you really have to do everything you're doing? Are there parts that you can say no to, postpone, or not accept deadlines, or make sure you don't stress yourself out over self-imposed deadlines? I need to mention that because I was a real master at that one. And is there work that you can get somebody else to do? So, are you doing more than you should be? And are you doing what you're doing in the most efficient way? So there's plenty of things you can do to even out that roller coaster. But there's also another element. And I actually think the more important element is how you handle that ebb and flow in the stream of orders. Because you're never going to be able to get rid of it entirely, because people are going to order their stuff from you on their schedule, not on yours. right? So when they want something, they're going to ask for it, and not before and not after. And so you won't ever say, well, I want 3 new clients a week. That's never going to happen. But whether you freak out about that or not, that balls you in your court. And there's just something I want to point out, that if you look, I know you can recognize that the feeling of freaking out, the feeling of panic, actually isn't caused by the lack of work or by too much work. Because even when I think about the post where the question was posed, after, there was the question and there were like a number of comments, and after a while, the person who actually posted says, oh, actually, now that I've spoken about it, and now that I see that other people are having the same problem, I already feel better. So the amount of work hasn't changed, but how she feels about it, how she freaks out about it, that has changed, like in an instant, right? And one of the lovely ladies who responded, she's a very experienced professional. She's been in business for a very long time, and she had a number of really helpful tips of how to manage the deadlines, and and every client wants their stuff, and at the end of it she says, yeah, so in general I have it pretty much under control, but there are moments when I can look at that rack of unfinished things and freak out. That there are moments when you look at it and you think, oh shit, should have, there's so much to do. And then there are other moments when you look at that exact same rack and think, oh, thank God, I've got plenty of orders. I'm not going to run out of things to do anytime soon. So basically what I'm saying is the freaking out, but we're not freaking out about the number of orders that we're working on. We're freaking out about and over the stories we tell ourselves what that means. If you know you've got a bill coming up and you need an order to cover that, and you don't know where that order is going to come from, at the moment, all you know is you don't know yet how you're going to cover that bill. It doesn't mean you won't cover it. It doesn't mean that next order the phone can't ring in the next second, because it can, and probably will. So there will be moments when you just freak out about, because then there's this gap between, this is where I am, this is where I want to go, and I have no idea how to get there. And there will be moments of doubt, your doubt, because you forget that actually you're going to have a new idea in the next second. Anything can happen. Just the fact that you don't know yet how you're going to achieve something doesn't mean you won't achieve it. But your mind's going to try and trick you into thinking that. And these are the moments when you kind of freak out and panic. And at the same time, the same thing happens when there's too much work. There'll be moments when you think, oh, thank God, I've got orders lined up to cover me all the way through to Christmas. Thank God. Or you can think, oh God, I'm not going to be able to do it all, and clients will be upset, and then they're, and then I'm going to get refunds, and then you kind of make up this whole story about all these awful things that are going to happen. But they haven't happened yet, and they're not very likely to happen to start with. And even if they did, who says that you won't be able to handle them? So next time you feel that sense of anxiety, that knot in your stomach, take a step back and listen to the story you're telling yourself right in that moment. And then remember that you don't have to listen to it. And just because it's going on in your head doesn't mean it's true. So if that topic is something that really takes the fun out of your sewing business, I would quite tempted to do like an online workshop, like an interactive class to go deeper in all these three areas, really. You know, what to do to get more clients, how to manage the work you've got, and how to remember that the freaking out bit is optional. So leave a comment or send me a private message, and I'll send you a link to a page to sign up for the class, because since I'm moving, I don't know yet exactly when I do that, but perhaps late next week would be a good time to do that. So if that's something you're interested in going a little bit deeper, then leave a comment and I'll get back to you. Happy sewing. Thanks for watching.